This episode of the Beauty by ABIC podcast is brought to you by Cangro. Hello and welcome to the Beauty by ABIC podcast, your online support community for the aesthetic and beauty industry. Here, we are strengthening and unifying the industry through representation, innovation, and education. This is a platform created and dedicated to the aesthetic and beauty industry, valuing unity and advancement. We serve to represent, support, and inspire you by connecting you with industry experts, expanding your knowledge through educational pieces, and bringing you the latest industry news. This is Beauty by ABIC. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller, and today's guest is Felecia Tappenden from Cangro. Cangro is an Australian-owned and made company founded by entrepreneurs Felecia Tappenden and Belinda Robinson. Their common experiences with eyelash growth serums led them to create an eyelash growth enhancer that was safe to use, low irritant, and contained only approved ingredients. After enlisting the help of an experienced cosmetic chemist and landing on a successful formula, Cangro was born. What started as a humble brand backed by a $20,000 Indiegogo campaign has now grown into a prospering business that is stocked in salons across Australia and internationally in the UK, USA, Hong Kong, New Zealand, and Scandinavia. Cangro reached six figures in just 6 months of its launch and is still growing fast. Here to reveal the truth about eyelash growth serums from Cangro, today we welcome Felecia Tappenden. Welcome to the podcast, Felecia.
Oh, look, thanks for having me today. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, we're very excited to have you, and we're so excited to talk about all things lashes. But before we start, we always start our podcast in the same way. Can you please tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to the beauty industry?
Yeah, sure. Look, it's a little bit different, a bit left field. I'd been a personal assistant for over 20 years and, I loved my job, but I wanted something more. I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want to work for people anymore, and I wanted to do something out of my own. And I left to have children, and, being a new mom, I had insecurities about breastfeeding in public. So I created my own baby business, as you do, manufacturing a breastfeeding cover. And that sort of went an overnight success. And we used to go to baby expos, and I met my business partner that I came out with, Cangro. I met her at a baby expo. She also owned a baby business, and we soon became friends and hung out for years. But as our children grew, so did we. We grew out of that baby industry, and we both wanted something more. So we'd often go for walks and have chats and say, what can we do for our next business? And we toyed around with so many ideas, but nothing just felt right. And it wasn't until one day where I had picked off my eyelash extensions through stress, and I lifted up my sunglasses, and Belinda was laughing at me because I had no eyelashes. I had about 5 on each eye. And
no,
it was not a good look. It was terrible. And she said, look, I've got this lash serum that you use, and it grows your eyelashes back. And I was like, oh, give it to me. Can I bathe in this stuff? I'm desperate. So I started using this lash serum, but I had such a bad reaction to it that my eyes were constantly bloodshot. They were just terrible, itchy, runny. I just didn't work well with me. So even though the serum worked, I couldn't push through because the pain, was too bad. So we both went, that's it. This is our business. Let's make something that's safe and everyone can use. I mean, it was after we looked elsewhere for something else and couldn't find it. There was just nothing on the market that you could use to grow your eyelashes that I wasn't allergic to, basically.
Oh my goodness, what a story. I love that you explained to us how you met Belinda. That sounds like a very special relationship there.
Yes, yeah, it is. Look, we started the business over well over 6 years ago, because it took a long time to get off the ground. And only just recently she's retired. So she left the business about 3 weeks ago after the recent beauty expo. She's still around helping me. I still speak to her every day. I see her all the time. You know, she's my best friend. But yeah, it's just me on my own now.
Oh, lucky her that she's retired so early. So young.
I know.
Well, it sounds like you're very passionate about your business anyway. So congratulations to you for taking over the whole kit and caboodle. Now, I'm so intrigued, and I'm sure all the listeners are so intrigued about Cangro. Tell us more about this amazing product.
Yeah, look, after we decided this was where we were going to head, the next part was, how do we do this? How do we create this lash serum? It's not like you can do it in your backyard. So, you know, we did a bit of research and found a place, stick with me here, found a place in China that manufactured a lash serum. I researched the ingredients. We'd gone pretty far down with human trials with this product, and I had cold feet. And there was one main ingredient in this serum, and I rang them, and they were actually based in Sydney. And they said to me, we do not send this product to China. So I'm not sure what is in your lash serum, but it's not what they're telling you. That minute, I pulled the plug, shut it all down, had lost a fair bit of money at that point, and went, no, Australian made all the way. So I had to start again from scratch, researching, trying to find another place. Found a place in Australia, and the rest is, I guess history. We are now Australian made and very proud of that. To get us off the ground, we started an Indiegogo campaign, which raised the funds for our first manufacturing run. We didn't have that much money just laying around. So we manufactured the products, sold them before they were finished being manufactured at a quite a discounted rate. And that funded our first manufacturing run. And yeah, from there, it just went really well, I guess you could say.
Wow, that is a wonderful example of entrepreneurship at its purest form, really, isn't it? You started off with being crowdfunded, basically.
Absolutely.
How wonderful is that? And, you know, the decision to go with Australian made, that must have been such a pivotal moment for you in realizing, look, I will be able to get ultimate control of my product and the quality, being in the same country and in the same place as its manufacturer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this might sound a little crazy, but I've recently moved house to be closer to the factory that makes my products. It is 5 minutes from my house. So I can at any point in time head up there, see how it's being done, what's being done. I'm really great friends with the people because they've been stuck with me for over 6 years now. But it's just nice to know it's so close and I know everything about it, what is in it, and I just can trust it.
You know, it's such a special thing when you are on a such a close friendship basis with the people that are actually the experts that are formulating your product, that are putting their, you know, all their expertise in to create something that's real quality, and they can see your passion because you're clearly passionate about having such a high quality. And, you know, those formulators and the manufacturers that deal with you every day understand your high expectations, and they're more accountable to deliver those when you are so close to them now 5 minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And they took a huge chance on me. You know, not everybody would. Our first run of the lash serum that we make was very small. It was only a couple of thousand. And, you know, a lot of places wouldn't just manufacture a couple of lash serums, especially here in, you know, in Australia, because, you know, you've got to set everything up, you know, get all the ingredients in. It's a lot of set preparation to make such a small amount of products. There's only a tiny bit of serum in every bottle, but they took a leap of faith with me, and together it all worked out. And now my order's are much larger.
Of course. And that control as well over the batches. There's nothing like a little bit slightly smaller batches for freshness as well. Sometimes when you're creating thousands upon thousands, and if you're a new company and you're not moving the product as quickly, you don't want to leave that product on the shelf too long or in the warehouse too long. So there's something to be said about starting off with small batches. It's a very smart way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't do enormous batches. I mean, they are a lot bigger, but then I sell them a lot faster. I'll do a fresh run every few months.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's exactly the way that boutique formulating businesses should run. You guarantee that freshness of quality of product. Then there's absolutely nothing like it. We talked a little bit about your experience, your personal experience with other serums. And we have heard, and obviously there's been great talk about, side effects and adverse events from such serums. And you did mention the dangers slightly about growth hormones in your lash serums. Tell us a little bit more about this, because I know this can be a little bit of a controversial topic.
Yeah, look, it is a bit of a hot topic, especially at the moment. In Australia, basically, we are not allowed to have what are called prostaglandins, and they're effectively a growth hormone in your lash serum. In America, they do have it. And basically, a prostaglandin is a prescription-only medication, and it's used to treat glaucoma around the eye, which is eye disease. It is for short-term use only. Therefore, it's not a great product to put around your eyes unless you have glaucoma. You can't be using it to grow your eyelashes because it's not great. And as we have seen, it has terrible side effects, things like changing the color of your eye, eyelid drooping, hyperpigmentation around the eyelid skin, big dark circles, blurry vision, dry eyes. There is a list of symptoms a mile long. And I definitely had a lot of them, and I've spoken to at all the beauty expos so many people. I actually met a lady whose eye color had changed from using one with the growth hormone. So, research is the key. If you're out there getting a lash serum, look at the ingredients. And if there is a word that is so long and 90% of it are consonants with no vowels, guaranteed you that is going to be a growth hormone. It shouldn't be in Australia. The TGA will take that one off the shelf.
There's been a lot of changes with the TGA regulations or legislations, and there's been many changes within companies as well.
Yeah, I mean, when we created our lash serum over 6 years ago, we hired a TGA lawyer right back then, because I didn't want to get 5 years down the track and find out that there was one of the ingredients in my serum that had suddenly been unallowed in eye serums. So we hired her right at the very beginning to make sure everything that was going in our lash serum was above board, so we know it's safe.
So what should consumers actually look for when they're choosing an eyelash serum and an eyelash? And I don't think you can say growth serum, can you?
We're not meant to call it a growth serum, which is why ours is called an eyelash enhancer. You're meant to steer away from the word growth, I guess, because it, sounds like growth hormone. Look for a reputable brand, someone who's been around for a couple of years. A lot of brands have come and gone. So that would be my number one thing. Look for a reputable brand. Look at the ingredients on the packaging. Make sure, take it to your doctor or your GP, if you're pregnant, whatever it might be, to just make sure those ingredients are safe, or even just research it yourself, Google it. There are a couple of different ways that lash serums can work. I think there are kind of three. There's one which is growth hormones. Forget about that. They work, but they're dangerous. The second is vitamin based. They're all just vitamins and antioxidants. So they're quite, 100% natural, organic, and they will make your lashes healthy, but they're not going to grow them. The third one is what is called peptide based lash serums. Now, the peptides are basically what are doing the heavy lifting. They're the things that are actually making the hair growth work. So look for something that's got the peptides in it. It is safe, but they're the ones that work the most, that are the best.
Cangro's Long Lashes Eyelash Enhancer is Australia's #1 selling lash enhancement serum. Proudly made here in Australia, their serums are vegan and free from growth hormones, combining a mixture of vitamins, antioxidants, and 4 lash growth peptides that work together to strengthen, nourish, and grow the lashes and brows in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. They have recently expanded their range to include a selection of lash growth and tubular mascaras, eyebrow lamination gel, collagen powders, and more. Considering introducing a new lash serum to your salon? All new ABIC member salons can take advantage of 15% off. Visit cangrowholesale.com.au and enter the code ABIC15 to grab your discount now.
Fragrance free. Make sure there is no smell in your lash serum. You can't go spraying perfume into your eyes. So you want it to be fragrance free. Our serum, for instance, our formula is thick. So it's more like a gel. We found a lot of them are watery and dripping into the eyes. You don't want that stuff dripping into your eyes. Even though it's safe, it can sting. So we've made ours thick so it goes on, it doesn't drip. And I'd probably say the last one, but I'm a little biased, Australian made. It's just something we're really, really proud of. There are not many lash serums on the market that are Australian made. They're all Australian owned, but not Australian made. You guarantee quality.
The standards of Australian manufacturing are quite high, especially if you're doing, a good practice manufacturing. It can be some of the top standards in the world. So I have to agree with you there. Australian-made products really are leading the market when it comes to safety, quality, and efficacy, for sure. Something we should be very proud of. I've actually seen, I think you've noticed as well, I think everybody has a real upward trend in lash serums over the past few years. Of course, you've noticed this. Why do you think this is?
Look, yeah, I've definitely noticed an upward trend. When we launched over 5 years ago, there were basically only 2 lash serums here in Australia. So we were one of the first to market. I think we were the first Australian made one. I'm pretty sure of that. Since then, there have been a lot of lash serums come and a lot of lash serums go. In regards to a trend, I feel like natural beauty is starting to make its way back. Less is more, less makeup, bushier eyebrows, back to how they used to be.
Oh, yes. Hallelujah to that.
Less over-the-top lash extensions. They're a lot more natural and things like lash lifts. And I feel like education is key. And a lot of the salons out there now have been educated around lash serums, and they realize that a lash serum complements anything. You can use it with eyelash extensions because it's going to support the natural lashes underneath those extensions to support them and hold them on for longer. And then when they take them off, the lashes are still great underneath. You can use them with lash lifts. They pair perfectly with an eyelash lift. Don't you want to lift lashes that are longer? So I feel like the education that's been going on around the last few years has helped with the upward trend.
Do you think longer lashes or thicker lashes, or both? Does your serum work on both those things?
Definitely both. I mean, a lot of people have asked, how does it work? What is the magic? And it's honestly simple. It is. I will tell you today the magic, our secret herbs and spices. Basically, you've got a lash cycle. Your lashes fall out after 3 months. What happens is the blood supply cuts off to that little lash and then the lash falls out. Our serum, when you're applying it daily, acts like the blood supply. So when the blood supply cuts off and the lash would normally fall out, it keeps your eyelash in for longer. So therefore, it is longer. You will notice after a while of using a lash serum, you don't see eyelashes falling out all over your cheeks anymore. It's because they're staying in for longer. That's the vitamins in it that are doing that. And then you've got the peptides that are helping extra lashes grow. So that's why we say they're fuller, because you've got new lashes where there weren't any before. So longer, thicker, and fuller.
Oh, wonderful. And is that keeping this blood supply active for a longer time period? or is it acting to replace the blood supply?
Yeah, it's acting to replace it. So that's how it works. Yeah, when the blood supply cuts off, the lash serum's kicking in and keeping those lashes healthy, all those vitamins, so they don't fall out.
So they're embedded inside for longer and are actually stronger. Now, the question that everyone wants to know, Felecia, can you apply the lash serum to your eyebrows? I have 90s eyebrows, so inquiring minds want to know.
I love that question. Look, yes, you can. It is the same serum. We actually sell another product called Bold Brows Eyebrow Enhancer. They are the exact same serum. They've just got different applicators. So it will work on your lashes and it will work on your eyebrows. We do like to sell the Bold Brows Eyebrow Enhancer for the eyebrows because it's a thicker brush. If you're painting it on using the very fine tip of the lash serum brush, it's a bit finicky and a bit annoying. So yes, you can. And in fact, we created that product because we had so many customers saying to us, I've been using it on my eyebrows, it works, but the brush is a bit annoying. Is there something you can do? So that's when we created that. And then we had customers saying, we're painting it in our hair and it's making our hair grow. Can you do something about that? Then we created the hair grow.
Please.
All of our products have come about from customers asking us to do something. I think that's why it's so successful. We listen to the customers and come out with what they tell us.
That's such a good business model, really, because you're not creating products and then trying to create the need. You're responding to the already existing need. And tell me, how long does it take to actually see growth in your eyebrows as opposed to your eyelashes?
Look, the eyebrows take a little longer to grow than the lashes. So we say around 14 weeks to see, a huge difference. Everybody, and the same with the lashes, will see the growth at a different time. So it depends where you are in your hair growth cycle when you start using the product, and no one has any idea where you are in that. So some people will say to us, oh, it's been 2 weeks and I can tell a difference. And then some people will say it's been 8 weeks and I haven't noticed yet. And I'm like, give it another 4 weeks. And then everybody catches up around the week 12 or 14 for the eyebrows.
Right. And for the eyelashes?
Yeah, so the lashes we say up to 12 weeks, just because there's no growth hormone. So it does take a little bit longer than if you were to use one with a growth hormone.
And you would apply this into your top lashes and to your bottom lashes?
Yes, you can. You can apply it to either, and it doesn't make a difference if you use it in the morning or the night. We just say once a day is enough. That's all you need.
Wow, this is wonderful. So I have noted one important thing, that Cangro is actually not only nationally stocked, but it's internationally stocked. Tell us about what your stockist philosophy is. Are you mainly in professional outlets, or are you online as well?
Look, yeah, that's a great question. Initially, we were online, and that was where we were heading. However, we've had a lot of changes in the last few years, especially in the last few months, I would say. And we don't really sell that much online. We're definitely headed into a lot more into the salons and the professional industry. We've always had them, but that has exponentially grown in the last 6 months. So we stock in, estheticians, beauty salons, hair salons, nail salons, anywhere where people are going to, make themselves look and feel better, really, all around the country and also all around the world. We have distributors in, I'll say maybe 10 countries now that distribute our products overseas.
Wow, congratulations. It's so wonderful to know that you have also focused on supporting the professionals in our industry. I'm sure a lot of estheticians and clinicians will be very thankful for that. Our industry is so dependent on these wonderful therapists and their advice. So it's so wonderful that you're supporting the professional industry in that way. Felecia, thank you so much for coming to talk to us today about lashes and brows. We have definitely learnt so much, and it's just been a real pleasure to have you.
Oh, look, thank you for having me. It's been great today, so I really appreciate it.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Beauty by ABIC podcast, your online support community for the aesthetic and beauty industry. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stay connected.